Ladies and gentlemen, I want us today to derive the quadratic formula using completing the square method. This is quadratic, the general quadratic equation, and I want us to use the completing the square method to derive the quadratic formula. So before we proceed to derive the quadratic formula using completing the square method, how I wish that you could subscribe to this channel. You could also like and you could view this video to the end. So let us proceed to derive the quadratic formula. So the first step is that this is ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0. So the first step that we will take is to divide by a on both sides. This is our left hand side and this is our right hand side. So this will be ax squared over a plus bx over a plus c over a is equals to 0. So if I divide throughout, that is, I divide on both sides by a, so I simplifies this a with this, so I remain with x squared plus b over ax plus c over a equals to 0. Now, from there, let us take this ca to the right hand side. That is according to, we are using completing the square method to derive the quadratic formula. So I will take this c over a to my right hand. So I will have x squared plus b over a x is equals to negative c over a. So from there, I will add a constant. I will introduce a constant on both sides. I will introduce a constant on my left hand side and also on my right hand side. So let's say the constant is k. So I will add. So x squared plus b over a x plus a constant k is equals to negative c over a plus a constant k. Now adding a constant on both sides, that is according to completing the square method. You add a constant on both sides, that is to the right hand side and also to the left hand side. Now, after adding a constant, that constant which is k in our case, our k should be b over 2 squared. Our constant k is gotten by squaring b over 2. So our b is the coefficient of x. So k now becomes b over a divided by 2. Because this is b, then this 2, I have written it here, then I square it. So I will have my k as b over 2a squared. So this k can be b squared over 4a squared. Therefore, substituting the value of k with b squared over 4a squared, this will be x squared plus b over a x plus k, which is b squared over 4a squared is equals to negative c over a plus k, which is b squared over 4a squared. Now, after this, according to completing the square method, I will have to find the square root of this. The square root of x squared is x. Then I take this sign, that is plus. Then this is b squared over 4a squared. So I will also take the square root of this. That is b over 2a. Then I close the bracket and I square the whole of it. Then I equate with the LCM of this is 4a squared. The LCM of a and 4a squared is 4a squared. So 4a squared divided by a will be 4a. 4a times negative c will be negative 4ac plus this plus 4a squared divided by 4a squared will be 1 times b squared will be b squared. So this is x plus b over 2a, then squared it is equals to, this is b squared, because let me bring this one, let this one come here. So let me start with b squared, then minus 4a squared over 4a squared. So if I square root on both sides, I square root on both sides, find the square root on both sides. So this will be x plus b over 2a is equals to, because this square goes with this square root, so I will remain with x plus b over 2a is equals to plus or minus the square root of, this is b squared, this one minus 4ac. So the square root of 4a squared is 2a. The reason why I have put the square root sign on the numerator of this is because as you can see, you can find the square root of this. That is why it is possible to find the square root of 4a squared. It is not possible to find the square root of b squared minus 4ac. That is why I have written the square root sign on top of this, that is on the numerator. So the square root of 4a squared is 2a. Therefore, from there, to make x the subject of the formula, we have to take b over 2a to our right hand side. So this will be x is equals to negative, because this is positive on this side, when it crosses an equal sign it becomes negative. Therefore we'll have negative b over 2a plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So this is x equals to our LCM. The LCM of 2a and 2a is just 2a. Then 2a divided by 2a is 1 times this will be negative b plus or minus. We have 2a divided by this 2a will be 1 times the whole of this will be just the square root of b squared minus 4ac. Now from there, this is the quadratic formula. This is the quadratic formula. So this is x equals to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So this is the quadratic formula. So we have used completing the square method to that is to derive the quadratic formula. So how I wish that you could subscribe, you could like, you could share this video, and you could comment. Thank you.